picked up on my computer. So we are rolling. So this is the top of the syllabus here. MTE 294, everybody in the right place? Soon to be MTE 250. The reason I say that is a lot of the documents that Dr. Thompson has given me, he likes to call it 250, although it's not officially 250 yet. So if I forget to change a 294 to a 250, or the other way around, it's the same thing. Okay, technology, mathematical visualization, line number, we got all that. So best way to contact me is email, always email. I have a phone across the office, but I never check the messages. So if you want to try to catch me, like you have an emergency off campus, you want to try to catch me, you can try it, but don't leave a message, just email me. That's going to be the fastest way to get a hold of me, is to email. Okay, my office hours, Mondays and Wednesdays, 1:15 to 2:30, Tuesdays, 11:30 to 12:30. And most of you know, my office is right across the hall, a little bit to the right, ECA 209. Okay, so hopefully we've all passed 270, 207, and MTE 210. I don't even know what those are. What is MAT 207? What is 207? Have you taken it? No. I don't know what that's probably something in the works. What about MTE 210? Is that something you've taken?
I think that's pretty pro for science.
No, that's math. That's math 210. MTE 210. Okay, well you're here, you got in, so it's the important thing.
We got in.
Okay. So, and that is on Blackboard. If you go to the Blackboard, download the syllabus, you can get it there. Oh, I just put everything up in the last hour. Okay, so we'll go over that in a second. Grading policies. We can just mention this now. Critical précis. Okay, so you can. That's basically a type of summary of an article. Okay, and so the details are on Wikipedia. 25%. That's going to be at least 4 readings, maybe more. Okay, there's 4 key readings. We may do some more. So you'll be summarizing those and maybe answering some discussion questions. The first one is due in a week from tonight. Assignments 30%, course project 40%, and then participation 5%. Here's the scale that I grade on in terms of how I give you a letter giving your number. Okay, the rest of it is fine print. Stuff we're not going to read over. On most syllabi, you're responsible for it, but we won't go over thing by thing. And like I said, the syllabus is here on Blackboard. So in terms of that first reading assignment, if you go here to the 4th one down as reading assignments, you see that there's this one due Monday, September 3rd. There is the actual reading you're going to download. It's a PDF file. So you're going to do the critical précis, and then you're also going to answer these 3 discussion questions. That's due in a week. And then you have a homework due Wednesday, which is we're going to start in the course with working with Microsoft Word and Excel, just learning those, formatting, creating documents with Word and Excel, kind of as a getting going as we're learning the technology for visualization. Okay, so we'll discuss what you need to know to do this assignment due Wednesday. So there's these 2 separate. Make sure you notice in Blackboard. You got a homework, which will be our everyday assignments, smaller assignments, and then the reading assignments, which won't be as often. And remember, all those reading assignments are 25% of your grade. Questions on that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Do we have a final exam for this class?
There's no final exam. This is the project, the 40% project.
Wow.
Did you talk about the project yet?
I have not talked about it, nor will I tonight.
Sorry, I don't know if you said this, but is it like do online since there's no school Monday?
Oh. All right. So we got Wednesday. So next Wednesday.
Wednesday the 5th.
And we'll switch that right now.
The reading assignment. We have a textbook.
There's not a textbook for this course, so I'll supply all the documents and readings that you'll need. Other questions?
No software to buy, right?
What's that?
No software to buy.
None to buy, but we're going to talk about software that we'll be getting complimentary copies of, which you'll appreciate greatly. Other questions? Okay, so let's just have an initial conversation here about visualizations in the classroom. What does it make you think of? So what is this about?
Technology in the classroom.
Technology, okay.
Presentation.
What's that?
How to present material efficiently.
How to present material efficiently. Okay, so can you say more about that?
I get frustrated sometimes in the classroom when you can't understand teachers' handwriting, somebody's handwriting is terrible. And like with new technologies like the smart boards and stuff, there's a lot of tools out there that can present stuff clearly that kids can actually interact with.
Okay. Interaction. What else? Yeah.
Well, just clarity. I mean, the higher math you go, the more in depth like pictures are.
Okay.
I mean, for our reference calculating, with a lot of three-dimensional pictures, hard to draw on whiteboards at times. So
Okay.
having an actual graphing calculator to be able to shade it and actually see the figure.
Okay. Yeah.
For us to use and use technology, so that for those who are not really good at visualization for all these crazy models,
Okay.
can learn math really well.
Okay. All good comments. Anything? Yeah.
To know how to use a calculator more efficiently than what most people do, because if you
Are you talking about a handheld calculator?
those and anything that's online, anything efficiently.
Okay.
That way we could teach other teachers.
Okay. We won't be dealing specifically with handheld calculators,
Okay.
but the way that we use them is certainly, that's definitely all in the same arena, right? Other thoughts? Okay, well let's see here. Show you something here. So here is a mathematical statement. Sine xy equals 0.5. Suppose this has come up in a situation or a problem and requires investigation. Does it make sense? Sine xy equals 0.5. You're saying no.
This segment, yeah,
What's that?
doesn't really tell you a whole lot.
Okay. Reactions to that. Okay, well, it's about visualization, right? So, does it make sense now?
Looks like a cool design.
How many people get it? One person. Two people.
Well, picture.
You get it.
makes make more sense.
Is that are you commenting or you get it? Okay, well, all right, how about this? How about now?
Yay.
Becoming crystal clear?
Uh-huh. That would be fun.
Comments? Is there still some people that really haven't gotten anywhere from the beginning? It's okay. How about this? Okay, there's a point to what I'm doing. What is the point to what I'm doing? Anyone? Yeah.
Kind of give you dimension, like show you different layers and kind of show you actually what the function is doing from another perspective. Because just with the 2D graph, it's kind of hard to tell what that means, sine of x, y. You have to have a lot of understanding of what it looks like zoomed out and all these other things.
Okay, so then making the three-dimensional image just cleared it up. Did it clear it up? Yeah? Yes, sir.
Well, what I'm thinking is, you've got this really powerful like calculator tool that's able to show us all this really cool stuff.
Right.
We've got tons and tons of information up there,
Right.
but no real context as far as what it means.
Okay.
Like we're not really saying
Good.
exactly. Like there's just so much there that it's almost impossible to digest it all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of along the lines I was going to go with. Because, I mean, you can put it in the graphing calculator and you can show the two-dimensional and the three-dimensional, what that equation shows, but it doesn't explain what the equation means. It doesn't show y sine xy equals 0.5. It doesn't show, in depth what the equation is. Because, I don't know, like, it's just a visualization, but it's not explaining anything. It just shows you what it looks like.
Exactly. All I've done is shown you something. What something looks like. What's missing? What's that?
Context.
Context. What else?
Where to use it. I think you could actually
Even
use
before that, though. They're right on the right track. I'm talking about using technology and visualization to help us teach. What's implied in that that's going to bring effective communication and learning to this?
You're adding detail each time you detail and context.
Okay.
As the visualization progresses, it makes more sense as to what you're graphing.
Did it make more sense? Honestly, did it make more sense to you as I showed more detail?
Yes.
Yes.
As I did these other renderings?
Uh-huh.
It sort of made some things clearer, but on the whole, it didn't really give us any better idea of what we were doing.
Okay.
I'm kind of putting it into context of games in my mind.
Okay.
Using those formulas, we could actually make really high-def games, like Minecraft and stuff like that.
Okay. This one?
It's missing extra examples.
Okay.
See if that's just a fluke or if that's a consistent reoccurrence.
Okay. Other comments? Okay, so this was me showing you something and you passively watching. A screenshot. Okay? And the reality is that we didn't make much progress in understanding sine xy equals 0.5. Me just showing you. So what's missing is a conversation. Okay, so context, or it's not just about showing an image. It's about how the teacher uses the image, and what it's a kind of a complicated thing. Getting the students involved, actively involved into what this image means, rather than they just sit back with the movie and see it. Okay, so me showing you this stuff was completely absent of getting you involved and using it in a meaningful way. There was nothing. I didn't bring to you anything that I was trying to illuminate or express. I just brought you a picture, right? So the idea of visualization is it's an aid to help us teach an idea. So that there was no idea in the first place. I mean, there was this equation. There was no idea in the first place, and then secondly, there was no dialogue, there was no conversation that I generated around that idea. Does that make sense? Okay. Cool graphics though, right? Okay. So this is, the program is Graphing Calculator, and this is what you guys are gonna have, and we'll download it later in class. But I want to show you, just while we're on it, I'll just show you a few more things that I've used it for. A few of you had me for Calc 3, and I've used this extensively for Calc 3. So here's just want to give you a few examples. Here is, this is a parametric equation. X is cosine t, y is this polynomial, and z is 0.5 sine 5t. And so this was, we're learning about vector functions, and this is an example of a vector function. And so what I was showing the students is that a vector function, as you change t, you get a different vector, and if you put all those vectors with their tail at the origin, tips of all those vectors sweep out a curve in space, and that's what a parametric equation shows, is a curve in space. So it's great. This software is great because you can model, you can just grab and rotate and get different views of it. For some reason it doesn't like me trying to get that here. And then from there we looked at some other vector functions, namely the derivative vector function, which is modeled here by the pink vector is the derivative function of this red vector function. And then the blue one is actually the tangent vector function. I don't know if you remember all this stuff from Calc 3. So as we were learning in Calc 3, just introducing what vector functions were and the different aspects of them, this visual helps kind of give an example of what it's about. See that? Let's turn this off. It's a little bit lighter in the back if you want to look at the back one. But so this was, we were looking at the intersection of surfaces in three-dimensional space and trying to write the parametric equation for the curve intersection, which I'm showing there in yellow. Okay, so that's good. Some good examples there. Let's see. So I think what we'll do now is I want to show you, if you go ahead and get your laptop, we'll have you go ahead and download this. I'll make sure it works. and have you just kind of mess around with it a little bit. I'll give you some basics, and then from there on out, we'll just let you explore a little bit. So in order to, if you go to the Blackboard page and go to the home page, the very first announcement is the acquiring the software. So if you're on Mac, you're going to go here. Windows, you're going to go here. This is pretty self-explanatory stuff in terms of what you do after that. And then once you get it downloaded, here's the registration. So, yes, sir.
So for Lion, should we just download the student one? Because they have the student prices.
Does it not work? This.
Well, I don't, because I downloaded the 4.07, and I just don't know if I have full functionality with it. It opened and downloaded, but I don't know exactly what we're supposed to be doing with it.
Okay. Why don't you just give it a shot? Just register it and see how it goes. Okay, so go ahead and download it now and see if we can get it registered and get it open. And then, so we're going to want to share. Got lots of computers here, so you guys are good. One of you, let's see, one of you can move over here. Share. So those who don't have a computer, you're going to find someone to look over their shoulder. You got it? It's working, okay? So you already have it.
This was just the 4.07 copy.
That's GSP. That's GSP, right?
Yeah.
So, but you're good on this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had no problem downloading this and putting the registration. But I was asking if this on the Blackboard.
Yeah, it says you can try it or something.
Yeah, so it says for says line to get the Sketchpad 5.0.
Well, just use that until something goes wrong, I guess. Until it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It looks like it's working.
Okay.
Yeah, see how. Yeah, I crumbled paper. But we're actually. This is the important one. Okay. Yeah, the important one for now is. Oh, is it right? Yes.
I'm a huge challenge fan.
Got it? There's something else. So we're good for you?
Yeah, my computer's running really slowly.
So say it won't work. Yeah. Yeah. Did you get the question mark? You have a question mark? No. Did you get that little window? There it is. Good? Okay. Okay, so let's just do a few basic things. So when you first open it up, you should get a window like this. Everybody able to get there? Okay, so the first thing is for graphing, it reserves X and Y and Z for actually displaying graph. Okay, so if you put Y equals 4, it's telling it to graph Y equals 4. You can change the color of the graph, so we want blue instead, say. Okay, you've got your zoom feature down here in the left, zooming in. So if we zoom in on the graph, we're not going to see Y equals 4 anymore. Okay, zooming out. Okay, you can just grab the axes and move around. Move the axes just by grabbing. Okay, similarly, X equals 7, change the color. Okay, you can click on the graph and it gives you like crosshairs, and then it will tell you what points you're at, and then you can grab that and drag and it'll give you ordered pairs. It will also if you move it to this intersection point, if you listen, you have your speakers up, you'll hear that it'll knock when it'll lock in on this key point here. So it will do that with intersection points, it'll do that with maxes and mins, it'll do that with roots. But once you click onto one graph, you can't get onto the other one without starting over. Okay, so you got to come up here, double click on this. Okay, so to add new lines, to add a new line of a math statement, you do on the Mac. It's going to be the, what do they call it? It's not return. It's command return. So the Apple button, Apple return or the command return, and then on PC is a control return. Control return will give you a new line of a mathematical statement. If you want just a text block, you can do Command or Control T. And now you can just, if you want to add text in, just put text in if you want to clarify something. And then to start a new line, just hit Command Return and starts a new one.
I can't seem to get the text one to work.
Anyone with PC it might be something different than Control T and something else.
You have to do the control enter handle.
No.
Control T works for PC?
Oh, there we go. Now it's
Okay,
working.
works fine. Okay. All right, so then we saw, sine xy equals so let's have a brief conversation about that. First of all, you can't see it. Put it in black. So here's a question. How does this graph representative of the equation sine xy equals 0.5? So how is it that graph is showing sine xy equals 0.5? Isn't that a whole bunch of graphs? Or is it just one graph?
What we're looking at is sort of just the xy plane.
Okay.
So this function sine of xy is a multidimensional function, so it's going to be kind of in a three-dimensional space, more of a plane than an actual line that is projected.
Okay.
So what we're actually seeing is just the XY plane where that sort of projection shows up. So it's more or less where our line or our equation of sine of xy crosses over the xy plane.
So
where it intersects, where it passes through.
okay, is it possible to talk about this without talking about three-dimensional space? How sine xy equals 0.5 is representative by which seems to be many curves. Anybody?
Well, in my mind, when I was looking at the actual thing, I was thinking that that's where it comes to be above sea level or something like that. But
So you can click on any one of those curves and you can drag along. So talk to me, what is this representation, sine xy 0.5? How is these many curves representing sine xy equals 0.5? Yeah.
Showing all the places, like all the possible combinations of x and y where sine is 0.5.
Well said, right? It's showing us every ordered pair in the xy plane that makes this equation true. That's what it's showing us, and that happens on more than one curve, right? So that's okay. So I can't tell you every detail of the operation of this program. So I will point you to some things that are very helpful here. If you go to the help, the graphing variables window, it's really helpful. So in help, graphing window, what did I say? Graphing variables. Okay, so that's really helpful in terms of getting some basics going about this. Another one is keyboard shortcuts. So, for instance, if I want to rotate, or if you want to zoom in, or if you want to rotate around an axis, or these are also for putting in mathematical symbols into your entries. Okay, so this is both keyboard shortcuts is both for manipulating the graph and, for instance, absolute value. Say I want. How do I get absolute value? It's showing you right here how to get absolute value. So that's when you just type that right there. So instead of y equals 4, I didn't really want y equals 4, I wanted absolute value of y equals 4. How's that different? Okay, so that's just an example. So there's no way I'm not going to go through every single function of the thing. So it's kind of like there's something you need it to do. It can do it. So you just have to kind of figure out how, and at last resort, go to the manual. Okay? But yeah, there's keyboard shortcuts. It's very helpful. The keypad helps make things a little quicker. That's in there. What was that in? That's in the math menu, show keypad. Okay, so I will just give you 5 or 10 minutes just to try to find as much stuff as you can. Okay? So, and maybe the person so maybe one person trade off, share with each other, and if you want to, try some three-dimensional graphs, it will bring up a three-dimensional space if you have a z in there. Okay, so as long as you're just sticking with x and y, it's just going to give you two-dimensional rendering. Okay, but as soon as you put a z in, then it will go to the three-dimensional space. Sure. So what I did was, instead of having it being sine xy equals 0.5, I said it was equal to z. And by doing that, then it changed it. And now so what happens then to x equals a constant and y equals a constant in three-dimensional space? What am I doing here? Where is it?
I just went to the website.
What'd you do with the point?
What's that?
How did you do it?
This is all so easy like sine x y. So
You can add in another
if I put z equals 0.5, what will that be? What will the representation of z equals 0.5 be? What's that?
the one that cut in the middle of it.
Okay. Because the z-axis is the up and down axis, so we have all points that are z equals 0.5. Okay, any questions?
That's really cool.
How did you draw that last year?
Okay, all right.
Yep, the saddle point.
Okay, if you just want to zoom in on one axis, just on one of the axes, if you hold down, let's see, it's so going back to just x and y. Well, actually, so in terms of zooming, you can zoom in or out on a three-dimensional graph, or you can specify here limits for x, y, and z. This is kind of like in a handheld graphing calculator. This is like the window screen right there. So you can specify that. Okay, but you can still zoom in and out. Now on a So now we're back to this. So if you want to just zoom in on the y or x axis, if you hit command, this is going to stretch or shrink only the y axis now if you hold down command. So I can zoom in just on the y axis and leave x as it is. Okay? And then similarly, if I hit option on the Mac, now I can just zoom in or zoom out on just the x axis. So you can vary the scale. Okay? So that's by holding down Command key, zooms in and out on the y-axis, and then holding down on the, what is it? The Option key, zooms in and out on the x-axis. Okay, someone asked a question that I was going to get back to. Yeah, what was it?
The vector thing you did.
Okay, so if you hit this for both for points and setting up vectors or parametric equations, if you hit Control 2, it gives you basically a vector. If you just put in coordinates into that, it will give you the point. So that's how you can plot a point. So I'm plotting the point 10, 1. Okay? But if you allow those to, if you go back and have x and y, and then say equals, and then do it again, Control 2, so here I'm graphing the parametric equations, or the vector function, x equals 3t minus 2, y equals t squared minus 4, but I'm only showing a very small part of it, so if we want to show more, then we expand the range of t. So for t, I'll say negative 20 to 20, and we'll get to see a lot more of that curve. So here's a good opportunity. You can see that this one is very steep, and it's coming back down very, very steeply here. So this is, we can work with the scaling of the axes to see this well. So how can we scale these axes to see a better image of this? Do I want to scale the y-axis, or do I want to scale the x-axis? See this red graph. Zoom in or out on the y? So yeah, if I hold on Option, I can zoom out on the y. I'm not sure why that disappeared. Oh, I guess that was just calculator drool. No. Make a mistake. Okay. All right. Any questions? Yeah.
So for the vector, it's
Control
control 2?
2 gives you a 2 vector, and Control 3 gives you a 3 vector. Other questions? Yeah. You just have to try those, there's all control and option. Just try them until you'll see a little change appear in the box. If you see horizontal lines, then you found the button that'll stretch and shrink the horizontal axis, and you find the vertical ones, the ones that'll stretch the vertical. Okay, so to get you ready for your assignment due Wednesday, we want to talk a little bit about Microsoft Word. So go ahead and open up a Microsoft Word document. What I want to show you in Microsoft Word is, so how many have had the experience of you wanted to make a nice looking document where things lined up on the left but in different places, and you use spaces and tabs to do it, and then later you wanted to insert something or delete something, and it just created a nightmare, right? We've all experienced this?
Yes.
So this is what we want to learn how to avoid this. So for example is you're going to want to create a sheet of problems for your students, okay? And you want to be able to have an initial draft, and then if you go in and change things, you don't want all the formatting to you have to start over with all the formatting. Okay, so let's go in here and
Which version of Microsoft Word are you using?
I think I'm using 2011. Yeah, I'm using 2011. Okay, so let me show you. Let's just start pretending we're going to start creating a homework. Okay, so homework for Thursday. So maybe we want to start with just a paragraph of text, maybe explanations. So this is explanation, first off, about this homework assignment. Oops, what happened? Why did it do that? Let me try again. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we have some initial paragraph like this, and then we want to come in here and we want to say, here's where I'm going to start problem 1 right here. Okay, and so what I want to do is when I create the problems, say I want my, maybe I want my 1 lined up here, or maybe I want my number 1 in a little bit, and then I want the actual text of the problem to start even further in. So what we're going to do is we're going to use what's called a style. Has everyone used styles before? Anyone? Some of you. Okay. So styles are the way that we can keep formatting of different sections constant. So a style is basically a set of formatting that we want to apply to specific sections of the document. So our sections of the document here, we're talking about when we're actually in a problem with a problem number. Okay, so we can just call, if you go up to here where it says normal here, that's where you can select style. So we can create a new style, and let's say this is.
Yeah, where do we get the normal?
So somewhere in your Word it's showing you what should say normal as the style. Is everybody find it?
Okay.
So let's just call this style questions.
How do we
So just select normal and then type in questions. And what we can do is, suppose that we want so we can put in 1, and then you can do what's called a hanging indent, which is you need to point just below the center of the hourglass, and we'll pull it over like this. Say we pull it over to 1 inch. Okay, and then by hitting tab, it'll take you to that hanging indent, and we can say this is problem number 1. Now notice what happens. So the hanging indent will wrap that around and start each new line at that spot. So everyone able to do it? Did it work?
My hourglass is just dragging the whole thing across.
So you gotta get to the right spot. So the right spot for hanging indent is just below the center of the hourglass, the narrowest point. So if you can look for it, there'll be a little text box that'll come up.
Nailed it.
Okay. Any other issues? Is everyone able to do it?
That's the only guy you can know.
Okay? And so if we go down here, if I click down lower now, notice that the style's gone back to the normal style. Okay? So problem 1 is in what we call questions style, and now we're down here in normal style. And so maybe we want more text between numbers 1 and 2. Okay, and so now if I'm going to start with question 2, I can go up here, hit questions, and it didn't work. Did I spell it wrong? And it didn't work. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, okay. So what I did was I defined that style, but then I changed it. So I changed that style. So we had to go back here and we have to redefine that style. So how do we do that? So if we just if you just highlight it and hit return again, okay, it'll ask you if you want to update. So we want to update to reflect current changes, yes? So now if I come down here, notice if I put the cursor now by number 2, notice it's giving me the format that I set, okay, the hanging indent. Okay, so now in problem 2,
But you said you needed to reapply it?
yeah, because what I actually did was I set up the questions style, and then I did the hanging indent. So we needed to apply that. So all you need to do is go back into anywhere in question 1, do questions, and hit enter, and it'll give you a text box to ask you if you want to make that change.
When I hit reapply, it just erased everything I've done.
Yep.
Okay, so here, and then for it to save this.
No, yeah, so you don't want to highlight it. You just want to be in that place where you're using that style. Yeah, don't highlight it. Just put the cursor anywhere in where that style is. Yeah.
Will questions change the font also? Like if I wanted it in a different font, so then I go back to the style, would it give me the same font?
I'm not sure. I mean, we could try it. We're just focusing on the margins, yeah, the indenting, so that it stays the same. Problem.
How do we get your version of Word?
We can't.
It's a
Unfortunately. We can't. Because it's not working for ours. At all.
Is that another question? Is there a hand? Okay, so
How do you get it to save that style?
what's that?
How do you get it to save that style?
I can't even get it to do those lines.
What do you mean to save the style? As soon as you name it questions and hit enter, whatever style, whatever formatting set was there when you hit that now becomes the formatting set for questions.
It's not working.
Okay. Anybody? Is everyone else able to do it? Not able to do it. What's happening back there? Let's start over, okay? So let's quit out of this and start over. We'll do it one step at a time. We're all going to have to do this for the assignment, so.
I think the biggest problem is that some of us are doing it on.
Okay, so, but you found where it's styles, okay? Did you find styles? Did you find styles, Frank?
Yeah, I found style.
Okay. So we're in the normal style here. So homework for eternity. Okay? All right. So we're going to start So we're gonna start with what? Start with some text before the problems. It's driving me crazy. Didn't want. So that's all in the normal style, okay? So it should have stayed normal. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll hit 1. Let's move that thing first before we define the style. So see how it says hanging indent? You're going to grab onto that and move it over to, say, 1 inch from the left margin. And then hit tab and say, here's problem 1.
Every time it
When I hit tab, it resets it.
It
And it does
resets
its own
every
formatting.
time. It
What's
resets mine every time I hit tab.
Like when you hit tab, like I followed
You got the
you,
hanging
and then
indent?
I had done that, but then when I hit tab, it like auto corrects it. You have to undo the little auto thing and turn off auto. How do you turn it off?
So what's happening? So this is a good point, because oftentimes you'll start a numbered list, and when you hit enter, it'll just give you the next number. Y'all know it? Y'all all seen that happening? Okay, basically that just puts you into a new style. So if you understand styles, it shouldn't phase you. So when you did that, if you looked, it should have switched from normal to something else, like numbered paragraph or something like that. Okay? So then so all you have to do then is just change these the way you want, and then define the style that you want. Okay? So when it does that kind of that outline thing where it's automatically giving you the bullet points or the numbers, as soon as it goes into that autocorrect mode, it just took you into a new style. Okay?
A lot of times for the PCs, what happens is Microsoft Word autocorrects you and it tells you what you want to do. So what you have to do is just highlight over the change that was made, and you'll get a little lightning bolt, and then click on that, and then hit don't autocorrect.
I think that's what she's trying to find and can't find it.
Just do it again. Do it with the problem.
It like doesn't come up.
Okay.
Yay!
It worked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So do you see what happened? If I hit enter there, it just switched everything I did. Okay? It moved the left margin, it moved the hanging indent. But why? Because it just put me into a preset style, list paragraph. Okay, so all I have to do is, it doesn't phase me, all I have to do is say, forget you. I want that there. And I want that there. Okay, and now I'm gonna call that my style. So that's my question style. So if I go here, up to question 1, all I have to do is just say questions, and it corrects it. See that? So that autocorrect is just trying to put you in one of the pre-arranged styles. Anybody else need assistance? Frank, is it working?
Yeah.
You guys got it?
Well, I'm running iWork, so I don't have Microsoft Word.
Okay. Are you able to find? It should still should have styles.
Yeah, it has styles, but it's totally different.
How about this table? Progress? No? Is it?
Yeah. That's what I'm using to add notes and G figured
Yeah,
out.
yeah, I know how to work it. So what you do is you just preset. So what you do is you have these. That's all within the arrow. So what happens is the arrow is the actual text. So if they're all
There's like another bar.
is this song or is it the first thing I want to do? Let's see. Can I go and just try? First thing to do is
Actually, yours is
yeah, that's fine. Okay, so
What about this table?
And then
No
what I
word?
Which one is it questions it wants to go back to?
Power, you're out of battery. How about, does you guys work?
so actually, you might have accidentally changed that stuff.
and it's very simple. And then if you try to hit return,
Has it been able to time?
Okay, so the nice thing about this is, now I want to insert some text in number 3. It's like, I forgot this part of this problem. Notice that it keeps the nice formatting. You don't have to sit there and work the spacing and tabs. You can delete or insert more text, and it will keep that nice, that hanging indent will keep the start in the same place. Okay, so now suppose I want to go back and I want to be, after question 3, I want to be back in the normal style, so I can just go back up there and do normal. So now I want to add some more text here, but not in question style. Okay, and then I can do go back to question style. And see, as soon as I did that, it actually has some auto on it. It's giving me number 4 and giving me my hanging in date just where I had it before. Okay, so now here's the really nice thing about this. So later I say, oh, you know what, I really need this hanging indent to be back here. So all you have to do is go into one of the problems. Say go into problem 3. And grab that hanging indent. Yep. So I want it at 0.5 now, say. Okay, so I put it at 0.5. Then all you have to do is go up here to questions. Click on that, and it'll ask me, do I want to update the whole, everywhere that style was applied, do I want to update that change? Or in other words, change the whole style. And you say, okay. And it takes care of everything that was styled that way and leaves the normal back the way it was. Okay? You got more success?
Kind of, except for when you hit enter, it's supposed to stay in that style, correct? Or it creates that. Like,
It makes the change. So it's asking you if you want to make the change
I'm
everywhere.
not quite that far yet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We just barely got it to do the style.
Okay.
Yeah, we barely got into this.
You know how you
at
did change the style? We already did. It's in questions. But when you hit enter, it's supposed to bring it up, right? But it's not bringing it up. It's under questions.
Okay, so moving on from there. So suppose I want this very nice graph as part of number 3. Okay, so number 3 is we're going to reference this graph for number 3. You got 2 options. You see where it says copy graph. Okay, you can do that. Hit copy graph, and it'll put however you have it framed. It will take that right there and put it into the clipboard to copy that as an image. Okay? Yeah.
While we're on that graph, I typed in the exact same thing, but I only get this really tiny line. It's not.
Yeah, you missed it. You got to show more of t. Okay? So you're only showing t from 0 to 1.
Oh, okay.
So if you do copy graph, it'll put whatever you have framed in the graph will become the image. Also, now this works for on the 2-dimensional but not 3-dimensional. You can just double click and actually just drag it. Okay, so it'll start off way too big. So to change the side, you grab a corner. Okay, you grab a corner.
Wait, how do you drag the image?
What's that?
How do you drag the image?
I just put the cursor right in the middle of the graph somewhere and double clicked and just dragged.
When I do that, I just move it.
So then you use copy graph. Use copy graph. So we can get it to the size that we want. Okay, but now we want to have all the text on the left and the graph on the right. So if you double click or right click, not double click, if you right click on the graph, you'll see wrap text. And if you choose square, then you can just move this wherever you want and it'll.
Does it drag 3D graphs?
I'm sorry? Okay, so, we need help. We need help.
I really just want to get the styles to work.
Okay.
We made it where it would do the style and it did not. So when I hit enter, it just it's acting as normal, but it's under pressure.
No, so
Why have I already done that? Just
are you expecting a number to come up?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's auto. That's not what we're doing. We're just doing style, which is a certain type of
So it'll
formatting.
still save them all together. You just manually type it all in every time. Like where you do the 2 and then you hit tab.
Yeah, I didn't show you that. I didn't show you how to get that's fields. I didn't show you fields.
Okay.
I'm just showing you how to get that the formatting, the hanging indent to stay the same.
Well, it
So-
wouldn't.
Well, if you set that style and then you're in that style, it should give you that for the style that you created.
Right now, when you hit enter or your mouse is down, this doesn't automatically do the number. It just
Yeah.
it automatically does it for you. But mine won't do it.
That's not what I was showing you. We could look at it. I wasn't showing you that. Just showing you how to set up the styles with the indent. So go see if you can get the graph in there and the wrap text.
Am I supposed to create a style? Like I didn't have to. Violet, right?
Yeah, you're right. You don't. So here's the thing. Like what I showed you. Like if you had 10 questions and they're all separated between different places, and now if you want to say you want to change the indenting on all of them at the same time, then you're going to have to go back and change every single one.
Okay.
But if you set a style, and all of them are set at that style, then you just change the style once, and then hit OK, and it'll change them all.
How
So
do
that's-
you?
Because the problem is the style set up this way. That's why it'd be Who's actually happy with the process?
We don't have a.
I know it's crying.
Yeah, it's YouTube Live, so you need here. Yeah. Did you remember what I did? You just need to find it. There's got to be a way to do it. It's just a matter of finding it. Okay, other issues?
I figured out.
Yeah.
Figure out, so when it comes to numbers, you just have to leave them code in, right? We're not doing the list. So like with this, I drop it, but then, hey, I can do 4.
Yeah, so you're still in the right spot. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really show you the auto generate. I mean, that will work in the like it's working in the style that I created. It just gave me a new number 4 where it made the whole number for number 5.
Yeah.
But I wasn't showing you that. I was just showing you how to.
Yeah, because that's what was confusing me. I didn't know if it was supposed to auto.
I know the ways to get it. I've done it.
Okay, so you just all you do is go and say number 2. Okay, and then we're going to. Okay, so now 2 got changed. So now. Change styles.
She grabbed the clock because all things to turn around. She was fun. She's picking up a bit of the cabinet. She goes, I'll tell you where it's going to go.
Is there any way we can
Yeah, that's. Yeah, you can't count Microsoft Word.
If you're even out, by the way.
What would you figure out?
The new styles.
Oh, cool. All right, she's got it something different here. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that's what you need. What is it?
So down at the bottom corner, there's like an expansion.
Can you show, what is your name? Can you show Johnson? Any other issues?
Like how to get to the style, or like the style menu.
You good? Figure it out? Got a question? Sure. Good? This table, you guys got it? Okay, so. Over here. How'd it go?
That's like we thought you were doing.
Alright, so you'll see the assignment that I posted. It's basically a PDF file. You're creating it with Word. And the thing about it is the text of the file itself is giving you instructions about creating that document. You'll see. Okay, so follow the instructions as you create it. And you'll have that for 1 second. Yes. Get a graphic calculator on your laptop. Bring it every day. Yeah. I can stick around a little while, troubleshoot some more of you guys.
What was it? So she what?
Hi.
Can you sign this for me, please?
Well, it depends what it is.
It's just stating that I'm in this class.
Okay. Are you in this class?
Yes, Terralina.
So I don't need to check. I don't need to look you up.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very much.
You're supposed to like do it in between the text. You do it. It has questions, and then just change it, and then enter up where it tells like what text style it is. And then fix it.
Mark, will the video be up tonight?
What's that?
Will the video be
Oh,
up
thank you for
tonight?
reminding me. Let me get that off here.
And then another question. Your opinion, you think I should invest in Office or think it would be better for the course?
The new version, the 2011 version of Word is pretty good.
Okay.
Like I didn't like it when Contacts first came out. Like I don't know, was that 5 or 6, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
But I do like the new version of it.
Okay.
So, but let me.
So you ended up going with the, or you got your MacBook before they came out with the new one, didn't you?
Well, not me personally. I got it used. I mean, I didn't get this brand new.
Oh, okay.
So I just got this last spring, so it was after. It was already on there.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. We'll see you.
Hi.
So, hi.
How you doing? My name's Nathan. I'm a computational mathematics student,
Okay. Cool.
and I've been wanting to take this class for a while.
Oh, nice.
It's now I was debating whether I should
keep the class at full
Yeah.
workload. And I just want to ask you, like, could you project like hours that you would that I
I'd really
should
like to
spend,
turn
like,
off this video if we're having a conversation. Let's see here. Sorry.
That's how I changed it.
I was
When I
like,
see it
what?
again,